Oh, hey, welcome back to the Therapy Unzipped podcast. Brett, good to see you.
Tom, always great to see you. How diddly doodly,
You know what? The week's been pretty good, even though my wife and I have been battling some upper respiratory sinusy infections. Stuff goes around, and I see people every day in person, and she works at the hospital, so it's that
that
just
is
comes with the
inevitable.
territory.
That is inevitable, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know what I have found is I used to work in all kinds of settings like that, out in public facing every day, people in my face every day, and my immune system built up, and I was pretty healthy and avoided all kinds of illness. And then
Yeah.
over the past year, I have been a homebody, and
Yeah.
I work from home, and I do zero public facing. And I stay home a lot. I don't go out by choice. I love it. It's really where I want to be.
Yeah.
But I would get within like 20 feet of someone that's got a sniffle, and all of a sudden I've got it. So my immune system is weak.
Right. You get the flu for 3 weeks now.
Oh, I know. So I know.
It's
I'm
kind of
like,
interesting when
isn't
you
it?
do like get sick because it forces you to discover what your priorities really are.
Right? That's for sure.
Like I need to prioritize, food and I can't
Rest.
exercise as robustly as I
Right.
want to, and so it makes me grateful for those times when I'm not feeling sick and I can exercise really well.
Right.
Sleep and rest. And
Yeah.
you just don't have the bandwidth to deal with bullshit.
Right. For sure. And then if you're like, I know, Tom, you're a lot like we talk about this, but in those times where we have to rest and relax and take some downtime, we almost feel that like guilt in the background. Like
Yep.
I need to be
Yeah.
doing something. Like there's more I should be doing. I'm a more productive person than this.
Right.
And you just have to realize it's okay. It's okay to rest and relax and take some
Right.
time off.
Yep.
And you sit on the couch for 4 hours and there's no guilt involved. You need to
Right.
feel good about that sometimes.
Hmm. Yeah, we want to be productive, and we usually are productive.
Mhm.
So, I mean, if you think about how much we accomplish over the course of the year in
Right.
whole, that,
Mhm.
to take some time off for ourselves and not have to be productive, like that's just a drop in the bucket. It's not like we're not going to
Right,
be productive when we're feeling up to it. We are.
right. Absolutely. I took a day off this week, and I found myself like sitting on the couch. Like I got up and I had coffee like I usually do. And then, I went did some exercise, did my routine, took a shower, and then I went and sat back on the couch and then like for about a half hour. And I'm like, what are you doing? I mean,
Yeah.
this isn't what you do. Like get up and do something. And I'm like,
Yeah.
but I want to sit here. This is like nice. I want to sit on the couch and I'm looking at TikToks and playing my game.
Doesn't
But it's 11 o'clock in the morning. You people ask get up.
Right. Yeah. Can you believe that it's going to be July,
Holy moly, Tom.
right?
The
What's happened?
year, the year is half gone.
Yeah.
Do you remember we celebrated like New Year's? What was that, like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, about that. And now it's already half the years away.
Yeah, yeah. What is that concept? My son said that. He's like, the days are long, but the months are quick.
Yeah, what's that phenomenon?
Yeah. And it seems that well, and we've always, we used to hear our parents and our grandparents say this that, you know, oh man, the years just fly by. And you're like, what are you
Yeah.
talking about? I can't,
Right.
I can't wait to be out of school. What are you talking
Yeah.
about?
Yeah.
But it is so true.
You remember how long those 5 years were from 13 to 18?
Wow. Yeah. No kidding. No
But
kidding.
but 40 to 50 goes by like that.
Yeah. It's been a year since I sold my house, packed up everything I owned, dispersed it across the United States, moved, bought
Yeah.
a house. I mean, it was an ordeal last year, and it was a year ago. So,
Yeah.
it just goes by very, very fast.
Hmm.
And with that, I was thinking, I've been late, it goes fast, but I've been like lazy this week. I told you I had a day off, and that whole concept of a body in motion stays in motion, a body at rest stays at rest.
Yeah.
It is so true because I kind of was like lazy on Monday, and I convinced myself it was okay to just rest and relax. And then Tuesday, after my cup of coffee, when I got up, I was like, yeah, this is kind of nice. Remember yesterday when we sat here like all day? Wasn't that kind of nice? And I'm like, get up.
Right. That voice inside your head, whose voice is that? Is it your
Yeah,
own voice? Did it become your own voice? Is it your
right,
parents' voice? Is it a societal voice? Where were you conditioned to feel like you've got to be productive every single day?
right.
Every moment of every day, you got to do something. You got to be productive. You got to keep moving.
Yeah. And that's so true. Like after this move, the move was kind of traumatic, putting two houses into one, and
Mm,
I mean there was a lot to it. And afterwards, kind of sat down and we're just resting for a minute, and then we just kind of rested for a couple months, and it's like this is not who we are. Like let's get up. We got to paint something. We got to plant a garden. We got to do this. We got to string lights. We got to do this. We got like all these projects we got to do, and we haven't done anything in 2 months. But it was okay to just sit and
yeah,
let it all rest for a minute. So
yeah,
the list of projects never ends. But
yeah.
we got to replace the fence here and dig the pineapple garden here and plant the bamboo here.
Right.
Yay!
Isn't it funny how the shoulds conflict with the wants?
Them dang shoulds.
Right? You should all over yourself, but I should be doing this. I should be eating healthy. I should be exercising. I should be being productive. But then you want to,
But I don't want to.
yeah, you want to just relax and chill. You want to watch shows and, movies and
Yeah,
want to eat donuts. And
right.
I
So
think
it's
having a
striking.
healthy balance.
Yeah, striking that balance,
Yeah.
and figuring out what it is, and once you strike that balance and, we get into our routines, and Tom, you and I are all about routines and we talk about that a lot, and
Hmm.
you get in your routine, but then it's okay to break your routine occasionally, right? And just rest. You're not feeling well. You and Kira are not feeling well this week.
Right.
So just rest and it's okay. It's
Yeah.
okay to not do anything. Um, yeah. I took a day off and it's just okay to sit on the couch
Yeah.
look at TikToks because there's really nothing happening in the world right now to pay attention to. So
Right. Nothing going on.
no, not at
Well,
all.
and that's been a topic, what's going on in the world in sessions, especially this past, week and a half or so.
Yeah, it is. It's alarming. It's concerning. It's all those things. So,
Yeah. I
but we keep
mean,
it in perspective. I mean,
e
there's
e- everywhere from, yeah, this is awesome to, oh my God, this is
the end of the world.
terrible. Yeah.
Yeah, and everyone's entitled to their opinion and keep it in perspective. And it's a day in the life, so let's just keep it as a day, and we'll see what happens. And
Yeah.
you don't have to prepare for the worst all the time, right?
Yeah.
So we prepare and we plan and live your life. But
I've had a couple of people who, are at that place, because we meet people where they're at, and they're in that place of like, uh, what does it even matter? Like, why even try? Whatever that thing is, but like, why even bother? Like,
yeah,
and so I've been doing a lot of work of, like, well, okay, let's explore some of the reasons why
right,
you should try, like,
yeah. I love you see actually you see those TikToks and it's like do I have to go to work still? I mean, the way the world's falling apart. I mean, are we at the point where I don't have to pay bills anymore?
right.
Have we reached that apex yet? And it's like, no, not quite,
Not quite.
not quite there yet. But
Mhm.
I was talking with an old biker once, and I ride motorcycles, and we go on these rides, and I meet all kinds of really interesting people. And there was this real older guy, biker, couldn't even. I couldn't even imagine how he could still get on the bike, but hey, man, he was doing it. So
Yeah.
anyway, somebody mentioned about something, the state of the world, and he's like, listen, the world has been through this so many times. And,
Right.
wait, we've had assassination of presidents and we've had assassination of civil rights leaders and we've been through Vietnam and the world was torn apart or the country was torn apart during Vietnam. We've been through. Remember when, Tom, you and I remember as a kid, I mean, we had weekly drills of jumping under your desk, because
Right.
nuclear
Yeah.
bomb was, this desk was going to save us from the nuclear bomb. So we
Yeah.
had to like, hide
Right.
under a desk, that made sense. And then we had to, do you remember? Well, I guess we in the Midwest, we had to line up in the hallway with our heads tucked down, you know, that was always fun, with your ass up in the air and head stuck because,
Yeah.
that was going to save you from all the death and destruction. But anyway, back to, we've been through lots of trying times in our world. And, even out of modern times, I mean, we've been through wars and, hurricanes and volcanoes and all kinds of
Right.
things. Um, the world has seemingly been coming apart for a long, long time.
Yeah.
But we always seem to manage right through it.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, my favorite story from my mother, if you worry about the worst case scenario, which we all do, and in the unlikely event it actually happens, which it never really does, maybe occasionally, but never does.
Yeah.
But if that is all true, just live it once. Why do you want to live that stuff twice? Why do you
Right.
want to anticipate all of that garbage and then actually have it to happen for real and have to live through it? Now you've lived through it twice.
Yeah. And when things are at their worst, that's when we see humanity unite together. And
Right,
so, not that I want to facilitate that, but we can
right,
we can expect to see humanity, our communities and our you know, everybody joining together and
right.
exploiting each other's strengths and working together. And we're going to see that.
And um, in semi-modern times, the country was never more together than post 9/11.
Right.
I remember we thought the world was over at 9/11. We thought we didn't know what to think, Um, we thought this was a new reality of, terrorist attacks on our soil consistently.
Yeah.
But we came together. We flourished as a country, as a people, as a society, and
Right.
we still have to take off our shoes at the airport. But still, hey,
Right.
we persevered.
This is the nature of the universe. I
Yeah,
mean, it's a roller coaster.
right,
And, if things are comfortable for too long, there's going to come something, whether that's natural or, man-made, that's going to interrupt that balance and then force a growth in some respect. And when we see that on a broad scale, on a macro scale, but we also see that in individual scales. People come into therapy not because everything is hunky dory, butterflies and rainbows. People come into therapy because things are not working anymore. Something's off. There's a crisis or there's something, and
right,
they need to facilitate a change.
yeah,
And you know what? That's when they come in and we work and they grow and adapt and make positive changes. That is a beautiful thing to see. And I'm grateful to be a part of that.
right.
And we'll do that as a country. We'll do that as a world. It
Mhm.
may not be pretty, and who knows what, mayhem, destruction, whatever occurs, but then we'll repair and rebuild,
Right. Yeah.
working together.
And, there's lots of things on the horizon that people are afraid of. I mean, politically, we're very divided. Economically, who knows what's happening?
Hmm.
Interest rates aren't coming down, trade dips, the whole tariff trade thing, prices are going up. Things are, things are whatever. So financially, politically, and AI, I mean, AI affecting the job market.
Right.
I try to keep my pulse on the national, international kind of workforce stuff, and companies are laying off people at record numbers. People are losing their jobs. They're consolidating. You know,
Hmm.
Companies are constricting right now and saving cash, and AI is going to replace many human beings. there's no getting around that.
Right.
And people are struggling to find new jobs. I mean, very highly qualified people, and it affects our Gen Xers us a lot,
Hmm.
because we're old and we're expensive. But not only are we old and expensive, but we're very talented and we're very experienced, and we bring a lot of institutional knowledge to the table. But so people are struggling, but at the end of the day, it's going to be okay. Reinvent yourself. This is a great time, Gen Xers, to reinvent yourself. I'm in the same career field, but in a very different market of it.
Yeah.
I took a almost 50% cut in pay to do what I'm doing now, and I couldn't be happier, right? So couldn't be happier.
And you know what? Excuse me. Yeah, pardon me for the crud, the creeping crud. But
Yeah,
that's why I love this podcast is because it enables us. And I mean, I put stuff on social media, but the podcast itself has the potential and the ability to reach many people where,
yeah,
as therapists, at least in my setting right now, private practice, it's just the one-on-one. I mean, yes, there's couples, yes, there's families and whatnot, but it's just the one-on-one time. And so the help and the reach is limited to just that one person or that one family or that one couple. But with the podcast, with this platform that is not going to go away, we have the ability to reach and help, which is why we got into this field because we have this desire to help. Maybe it's our archetype, maybe it's what we're called to do, whatever, but we want to help and be of service. And so, I mean, I want to make this podcast grow and reach many, many people, and that's what we're geared up for. So, we're putting in the time and the effort, but we need help and support from you guys. We need your questions and what is it that you want us to do and talk about? What is it that you need
yeah.
out there?
Well, and Tom, we're at that what almost 3 or 4 year mark that we've been doing this, something like that,
Yeah. Mhm.
right? And
Yeah,
so
this will
you
be the third year.
third year. So, and naturally, it's human nature when you continue to do something like this, like an active service for so long, we start to question, is this, what are we doing this for? Why are we helping people? Why
Right.
are we committing an hour? And I mean, you and I would do this if nobody's listening. I mean, we're just doing it because
Right.
we like to do it. But it's nice to hear feedback. Like, is anybody enjoying this? Is it, well, we see the numbers of people that are listening, which is great. And it's
Mhm.
a considerable amount of people that are listening, but um,
All over the world.
all over the world, many different countries. But it's like, what are you getting out of this? Do you like it? What don't you like? What do you like? Do more of that. Be
Right.
stupid.
Yeah. Mhm.
Tell more jokes. Talk about this.
Yeah.
Well, apparently, if they're listening, they like what we're talking about.
Right. Yeah. There's still people listening. It's still growing. So, yeah.
Right? But feedback is helpful.
Yeah.
We may ignore it, but hey, give it to us.
Yeah.
Talk about the turn of, talk about 19th century feminism.
Right. Right. Oh, okay. Mm.
All right. Well, that's a term. I heard it
Yeah.
once. That's what I know
That's
about. That's what all I know about that.
we're gonna do some research on that and then get back.
Right. I
But I
saw,
mean, if that's what you want us to talk about, sure. Okay. Well,
okay.
dive
I
in.
saw, man, I'm so all over the place today, but I saw a joke-ish. It said, they say life is like a bunch of chocolates, but I think it's more like a frozen bag or a bag of frozen vegetables with freezer burn. And sometimes it feels like that, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Sure
But
does.
usually, mostly life is like a box of chocolates.
Yeah. Coming back to the shoulds, when you actually do those shoulds, when you should, I should do whatever. I should eat healthy. I should exercise. I should, make that phone call and make that appointment that I've been meaning to do. How do you feel when you do that, as opposed to how do you feel when you engage in the wants?
Right?
Do you feel good? You feel better? Just, like not no judgment, not saying one's better than the other, but
Right?
like
Right?
sometimes that should is, like the thing that would be the healthier thing to do or the more productive thing to do or
Right?
it's um the inner advocate, so to speak, and it's not the, you know, the temptation.
Well, and look at your motivations about why, right? So, I love so I'm a list person. I do lists. I have lists on my phone. I write paper lists. I'm a listy person. It just and not only I can remember that's not the issue, is it helps me. When I look at something and I can cross something off the list or delete it on my note section that of
Yeah.
things. And I like paper because I can see it crossed off, right? So it's a constant reminder that I've accomplished something.
Yeah.
Um, or like on my phone, what I learned to get the same effect is I number things like 1 through 10, and I'll have a list. And when I've completed it, I'll take like the whatever, clean the bathroom. Number four, I'll take clean the bathroom off, but I'll leave number four. So it's a visual reminder that I've completed task number four.
Yeah.
But anyway, when I do lists, my first thing on the list always, always, always is write my list. So as soon as I'm done writing it, I can take that off the list. So instantly I have something done. And that's what makes me feel good. I like to accomplish things. And not only do I want to get these things done, but I like to see my things crossed off my list. That's my internal motivation.
Yeah. What if you do just like
Mm.
1 to 3 shoulds today? How would you feel about yourself?
Right?
As
Absolutely.
opposed to not doing any of those shoulds, because we all have the shoulds, right? You know, and if you engage in the wants, you can still engage in some of those wants and you can still rest and not feel guilty about it. But if you
Right?
just take care of, like one of those shoulds with devotion, time, and attention and love, and you do one of those things, you should allow yourself to feel pretty good about you.
Right.
Maybe one day you'll do 5 of those shoulds, but
Absolutely.
at least do one.
Yeah, absolutely. And people talk about how many times a day do you hear, I just don't feel motivated to do the shoulds.
Right.
A motivation is a construct. It's like a word that someone created. It doesn't mean anything. If
Yeah.
you're going to sit around and wait for it's like the tooth fairy. Like if you're going to sit around and wait for motivation to show up and sprinkle the energy dust over you, you're going to wait forever. It's
Yeah.
not going to happen.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry to the kids that are listening. But I mean, motivation, it doesn't exist. It's habit, and it is just desire. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
you just stand up and start moving.
So what are your shoulds? And make sure that you're doing
Right.
those because those are the things that are going to make you a better individual. I assure you of that. You have them bouncing around in your head.
Yeah. And what are your shoulds? Pay attention to them, give them attention, do them, but also it's okay to rest and relax. And particularly this time of year, we're a week ahead of the 4th of July holiday. The world is kind of slowing down right now. So Supreme Court's going into recess
Yeah.
today. They're dropping 6 cases on us, so that'll be my reading tonight and
Mm,
tomorrow. See what all their final decisions are going to be. But anyway, I'm just a dork that way. But it's that time of year. And this week, if you believe in this stuff, we've got a very interesting new full moon that happened Wednesday night. And it's people's energy are drained. So
mhm.
it's just people's emotions are on edge. People are feeling exhausted, but they're also feeling kind of irritable. I mean, I've just seen a lot of people that are irritable and cranky and just blah.
Yeah.
Everybody's in the kind of the blahs this week, and that's okay. That's okay
Yeah.
to go through those times and recognize that just because you have a few moments of the blahs and I'm kind of exhausted and I don't feel like moving, it's okay. I mean, take a few days. Your body's telling you, the universe or your body's telling you just to relax. So listen to it,
Right.
but then get up and start moving.
Right. Because like I said, the theme has been why even bother?
Yeah.
That kind of like just but you know what? It's because you're just in that kind of funk right now, but that doesn't mean it's going to be forever or it's going to last.
Yep.
So
No.
if nothing else, hey, work on some of those shoulds. If you
Yeah.
work on those shoulds enough over the course of, a few weeks, they become habits that they're no longer shoulds. They're things that you do. This is just what I do now.
Right. This is, yeah,
Right.
it's my habit. It's my habit. Don't wait for motivation, create a habit.
hmm And you have to do that consistently. Because think about the actions that you're performing today. How is that going to impact you and change you in a potentially positive or negative way in the next 60 days, 90 days, the next 6 months? Are you going to be happy with and proud of what you've accomplished in the next 3 months based on what
Right.
you're doing today? Because that's what it translates to. Yeah, if you don't start today on those things that you know you should be doing or ought to be doing, then when are you going to start?
Monday, Tom. We always start on Monday.
You're going to jump up, spin around, and 3 months are going to go by, and you're going to be in the same position you were today. So,
Yeah. What are your shoulds?
yeah. So, you have a should that pops up or a bunch of shoulds throughout the day, and that's okay. Like just take note of those and find ways to engage in those things, and especially allowing those things to become habitual by doing them consistently again and again and again, where they no longer become shoulds or just things that you do.
Right.
But you don't have to should all over yourself. Said Albert Ellis. Should all over yourself, because then you just feel like less than and demeaned, and like it's okay to engage in the wants. It's okay to rest from time to time. You don't have to beat
Absolutely.
yourself up because you're not doing all of those things. Just
So
do
find
one.
a healthy balance of both shoulds and rest and relaxation.
Yeah. Just do one. Okay, well, so that's our episode today. Shitting all over ourselves. And so you guys reach out, let us know. We want to be the number one mental health podcast. So what do you want us to talk about? What do you need from us? How do you want us to help? We're here to help.
Questions at therapyunzipped.com.
Yeah.
All right, Tom.
Have an amazing rest of the week. Great weekend. And we'll see you guys for the 4th of July. Oh my God.
Wow. All right. Sounds good. All right.
See you then.